So, uh, uh, it sounds like somebody has a siren. Anyway, welcome to NetCat's stream talking about Loki season two. For those who don't know, I kind of have this thing for time travel. So my relationship with Loki season one was interesting because I liked it, but I also wanted to hit it upside the head multiple times through it. So yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So I have with me Morgoth and Evo. Thanks for coming.
Hello.
Do
No
either of
problem,
you
man.
want to? Would either of you like to share anything about your feelings of Loki season one?
It was good.
Well, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed. It was very stupid. A lot of it didn't make sense, but it was stupid in a way that I was comfortable with. You know what I mean? It's time
Yeah.
travel stuff. When you get that, it's fun to pick it apart when you get that wrong. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that when I say that I have a complicated relationship with season one, I was able to piece together what the time travel should have been, and then it
Yeah.
looked like they were going, nope. And I'm like, could you could you just
I
ah?
remember. I remember feeling that way. Yeah. With each episode, it just got worse, and it's just like, no, come on.
Yeah, and my very first my very first non-streaming video was on Loki season one's time travel, which
Yeah.
I'm still very proud of because
Yeah. With the
Yeah, I
rope.
watched that one. It was good, man.
yep, and yeah, and I have to say I called it. Now whether they actually had the loom in mind in when they were making the first season, I don't know. Maybe they saw my video.
Maybe. But that was good, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand why everyone wants the praying now.
Yeah, well, aren't they gonna? Isn't it like overloading? Isn't them like?
Yeah, it's overloading. And
So them blowing it up at the end of the episode, is that a bad thing? Did they not just save all their lives?
well, you see, for one thing, since this is episode two of season two, this is almost a George Lucas things rhyme sort of thing. Because at the end of episode two, season one, that was
Sylvie
when
bombed the timeline, right?
yes, yeah, she bombed the timeline on the
But then
sacred
nothing came of
timeline.
that. Nothing
I
came of that.
know.
They
Oh,
forgot about it. The next
I
episode.
I was so pissed off by that. I was so looking forward to seeing what
Yeah, some
chaos
of that.
that would cause, and it turns out it was just used as a friggin' distraction for about 10 minutes,
It was
and
just the end
then
of the episode stinger, and it was it.
yeah, and then there was then it was just a distraction. It was taken care of right at the
Yeah.
beginning of the next episode. I was like, and at that point I was like, what the hell? But when I say that it kind of rhymes, we have Sylvie, who did that before, and now we have Sylvie trying to stop this from trying to stop that from happening, and and
Yeah.
and being all upset about how many people just died from that. And it's like, Sylvie, Sylvie, do you remember what you did 6 episodes ago?
I just don't understand why everyone wants
Yeah, but that was like
the
the opposite, right?
because isn't it bad that everything's fraying?
Maybe, maybe not. But to
Yeah,
give you
that's
the emotion,
what Obi's
the
the loom
emotional
or whatever.
reason for the emotional reason for why they want to have the fraying is not so much that they want the fraying, it's that it, it's that they now honestly realize that they are killing tons of people. That these things honestly are weapons of friggin' mass destruction,
Yeah.
and
So it's like they don't,
and they're
but they
and they're
never even
got
bring it up. It's Obi's the one saying they're all going.
well they kind of brought it up at the very end of the last season, and they're assuming I think that they're assuming that everybody rewatched everything.
I didn't.
I did. and that's why I can tell
Right.
you some of that.
No, I
And
didn't.
and the thing is that one of the things that that really got to them
Right.
was that they all thought that they were some special kind of race in the TVA, and suddenly they found out that they are actually pruned variants. So now they're not just the timekeepers that are doing all
Right.
this for the puny humans' own good. They're now suddenly seeing in these timelines as real things
Were
and
they
not just
pruned? I thought they weren't pruned.
not actually pruned like the bush, but
No,
but
they were
pruned
arrested.
as in
Yeah.
being taken out of their timeline, and then that timeline that they were on got pruned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
what I
that's
don't
what I mean in
understand
this
about
case.
the whole thing. By the way, so if you create like a variant, right, you create basically an alternate universe, and then they arrest the variant and then prune the universe. Why don't they just prune the? Why do they bother arresting them? That's what I never
Well, yeah.
understood.
Well, I would say that part of the reason why they do that is to get more workforce. If they think that the person that they
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
if they think that the person that they just arrested is good enough, they probably get mind wiped and then put into the TVA. So
Yeah, which makes you
that's my
question why
theory.
they didn't mind why. Makes you
Well,
wonder why they didn't mind why Loki.
he- be- I'm going to pull the because Loki is Loki, and possibly what actually makes possibly what makes Loki actually able to do the shit that he does is his memories, is the stuff that he has actually learned.
I want
And
Thor to show up.
Yes.
I don't
We'll
think
probably
Thor
get
would
a
actually
variant
handle
that's
this
like.
stuff as well, but yeah.
I bet we'll get. I bet we'll get Jane Foster from another universe
or
where she is cool.
or what if we get Odin?
That could be interesting.
That'd be cool.
Because Loki does have
Interesting to
daddy
see him
issues.
interact with Loki. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, his mother has
It's
already been mentioned. The guy mentioned his mother, which I thought that implied that he'd seen her at some point on the timeline.
Oh, yes. As 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 for that, again, I've recently rewatched the stuff of the thing that made Loki's big ass turnaround, which really wasn't all that believable with how fast he turned from evil Loki to good Loki, was when they were
He watched the
showing
footage,
him.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so seeing that he caused his mother's death was the prime thing that turned him from evil to good,
Ah.
which in my
But
opinion was a little fast.
I thought it was because he saw himself die.
No, at least that's not how I saw it. But
yeah, but
uh,
I remember
but that's
that. Didn't
probably
sorry.
but that's probably part of it. He saw himself die after after having killed his after basically having caused his mother, the one person he truly loved, get killed due to himself due to him. And
Hmm.
so when he died, his legacy was getting his mother killed.
So what do you think of the argument that he had no reason to believe any of that footage was true?
I
Like he
think
had
that
no
that
reason.
I,
He had no
I
reason to
think
know.
that's a very good argument. That's part of why I think that was a little bit too fast.
Yeah, because he
It's
doesn't
kind of like
trust the TVA. It's like
it's kind of like what I was talking about in that video that I made, and I really need to make a follow-up video on that. I've just
you
been
shouldn't.
blah. Uh, but uh, but just like I was saying in that video about the people that were telling us about how the timelines worked, the people telling us about how the timelines worked were unreliable narrators, and to Loki, the people showing him that footage were unreliable narrators. So why the hell would he just take it as truth?
Well, that's what I was also going to say about the OB thinking they're all going to die. Could that just be TVA propaganda making them think that?
Possibly. And I find Obi to be a very interesting case here.
I like
I've
Loki.
been Obi's great,
Yeah, I like him.
but and the thing that I've been thinking about with Ob is I think that he might be the only person in the TVA who hasn't been mind wiped since the beginning,
Right.
because he's just by himself down there, forgotten by everybody, and and kind of somebody needs to remember, or so that if something goes wrong, things can get fixed.
Yeah.
So, and, or possibly when everyone got mind wiped, they forgot that he was there, and He Who Remains was the only person
Well,
that actually knew he was there, but He Who Remains didn't tell them specifically to go to that level to get him.
yeah.
I like that Opie that is Ouroboros, and that plays a lot into Norse mythology with the
With the
world
snake
serpent.
eating, yeah, and the snake the snake that eats its own tail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's at the bottom of the Yggdrasil, I think, the world tree.
Hmm. Yeah, and my theory about him being the only one not brainwashed actually also makes sense with why AOB remembered Loki when he time slipped backwards, but Casey did not. But Casey and Mobius did not remember Loki's time slip backwards, because both of them would have been would have been mind wiped after he remains decided to stop being explicitly there.
Yeah. I like the idea that they just forgot about Obi.
I
So
don't
it's
think
He said
so,
no one.
but the reason why I don't think so is because as as we didn't go to a different universe when he time slipped backwards. We went to the past, which,
Right.
by the way, in the past they were having another one of these huge, which everything is fraying out, almost like what's happening right now.
Yeah, I remember that.
And at that point, Kang was still explicitly leading in the TVA, and something had to make them all forget that happened.
I think that's when Sylvia arrives there.
So Sylvie arrives in the future.
Did we know that though?
Yes.
Because he
Are you
just appeared
sure?
in front of an elevator, and the elevator opened. She was there. We don't know if that's the past, the present, future, what.
No, we actually do know that.
Okay.
The reason for that is because that last time that he time slips, it's actually
He puts the thingy on the thingy. The
well,
Mobius.
yeah, he writes skin because they were just talking about him losing all of his skin.
Oh, right.
And so he was just writing skin on there, like, because I'm gonna lose my skin. And then when Loki time slipped, we still saw skin,
Right.
which means that
Yeah.
it could not have been the past.
Yeah, I get you. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I forget that theory then.
Which is also the reason why Loki was at the end of episode 2 basically yelling at Sylvie that you are going to be coming back to the TVA. I know it because I saw it in the future.
Yeah.
Well, she did come back to the TVA.
Well, yes, but that scene still hasn't happened. but
Yeah,
but
from her perspective.
yeah, but yes, you're right. But it still, my point still remains that there is another time that she's going to be coming back.
Well, I was just suggesting the possible cause for the previous.
Yes. Well, as far as we know, she may have traveled backwards in time.
Yeah,
And caused that again.
still could have caused that. Yeah.
Yes. So
That could have been Loki.
Not necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
And it is interesting that time travel theoretically can't happen in the TVA, but Loki being Loki managed to.
Well, it clearly can. I never understood any of that. Like when they said like there is no past TVA, I'm like, well, what was season 1? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, actually, I really do think that you're misinterpreting that. Well, and when they say that there's no past TVA, I think what they're trying to say is that there was no previous version of the TVA. The
Right.
TVA that we have as it is now is what we've always had. That's what I think that line was supposed to be.
Okay, but that's not really how they word it.
It's the way that I originally took it, and when I read,
Yeah, well, obviously time has to take place in the TVA, otherwise we wouldn't be seeing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But they say that a lot in the MCU, like the quantum realms outside of time and all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
Well, that one is just fucky.
Well,
This one makes a little bit more sense, and part of the reason why, and this is again all theorizing, in and but also remember, time travel shit is kind of my hobby.
But the TVA are literally viewing time from an outsider
Yes,
perspective.
it's not so much that they're viewing it from outside,
They've got a timeline
but
on the screen.
yeah,
Nothing they do in there is like they have to go onto the timeline. They literally say it.
what
You know,
I really wish I had something set up for me to just kind of just kind of doodle to actually show. Oh, because it's so much easier to use gestures and stuff to actually
I get you.
explain this stuff. But the way that it's looking to me right now is that when we say that the TVA is outside of time, I think that Kang did something to actually stop to stop time portals from being able to go back and forth in time, for one, which is why they say that you can't time travel there. I think that Kang did something weird when setting up the TVA.
Well, he
It's
set up all their time travel check as well, so he can do it
right.
right. Mhm.
So there's no time travel within the TVA because Kang set things up so that there couldn't be.
Right.
So or that's why they think that. But also by doing that, he also made a stable almost I was out to say that it's outside time is
It's
wrong
like a
because time
separate. It's like a
because
from
yeah, it's a separate time, it's a separate timeline that doesn't branch, that just goes forward. Or for maybe he set something up that just automatically prunes that particular timeline every time it branches, if that makes any sense.
yeah.
Like like an automatic reset charge that happens every time. Yeesh.
Well, I
That
found out that the Kang the Conqueror from the Ant-Man movie is actually Kang the Conqueror.
I
That's
was
what they
seeing
call
you
him in the movie.
I was seeing you talking about that. Is that when we say that's King the Conqueror, is that King the Conqueror the same as He Who Remains?
No, he's the one who was exiled because the rest of the kings found him too dangerous,
Oh, okay.
Ah,
and so they exiled him to the quantum realm. But I think
Ah,
it's
ah,
because he's the king, the conqueror. He's also the main king in the comics.
let's just say I'm not going to put all that much
is
credit.
Council of Kangs in the comics. That's something very
uh,
alliterative sentence.
uh,
Uh,
I
Morgoth
I'm
is the Council of Kangs in the comics.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew.
I, I
Sorry.
I'm kind of disregarding most of Quantumania for when watching Loki. To be completely honest, because that movie was so badly written.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I like Modoc.
I really didn't. I'm only vaguely familiar with the character, and even I was annoyed. I was like, there's so much they could have done.
Hmm. So yeah, but but back to what I was trying to say, what I was saying, having the TVA timeline be stable is almost like a little ticker that sets an overall time frame to the rest of the timelines, so that when something happens on the sacred timeline or whatnot, it does happen in a certain order, even if on the timeline it goes from 1982 to 1970 to 1980. It still happens in that order because the ticker that is the TVA is still running.
I get
Right.
you.
It's almost like editing a video, where you've got the different tracks on it, but you've got the master, but you've got the master time going. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah, I get you.
And that's what and that's why, when I saw somebody saying that Loki's time slipping is going against what they said in Endgame for how time travel works. It's not really, because time travel works differently in the TVA than how it works in the other timelines.
Right.
So it's more of an apples and oranges thing,
Mhm.
and that still lines up with first saying that time travel simply doesn't work in the TVA, which still has, which just by saying that, that's saying that it works differently. So by adding this different way of doing time travel in the TVA, it's not really changing anything.
Okay.
Does does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And for all the stuff that I'm saying, I'm sure that I'm doing more work on figuring this stuff out than the actual writers,
Yeah.
like I
I
did
felt
in
that.
season one.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
I felt that way in season 1 as well.
but with them actually having the temporal loom, that gives me a little bit of hope that they are thinking through things a little bit more than I thought that they were,
Mhm.
which frankly surprises me because this is Disney we're talking about.
Yeah, there was. I don't know the
Disney's
name.
known for thinking things through.
And if I remember correctly, didn't the main writer on this have something to do with with that Black Widow abortion of a movie?
No, that was the writer. I heard that season 2 Loki has a different writer and director. I'm not sure. But the
Oh,
writer of season 1 is did what was it? Doctor Strange.
ah, okay.
The second
Well,
one, the
yeah,
multiverse one.
yeah. I've got the spicy take on that I actually liked Multiverse of Madness.
No, I enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of stupid in it, just like, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. I was so happy when Wanda was the villain, man, and the movie actually knew that she was the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got into multiple arguments based on that one. Heck, I think that Morgoth got pissed off with me during that one, to be honest.
Mhm.
Did you not like that one, Mogul?
What?
Did you not like Multiverse of Madness?
It was okay. I didn't like it that much.
And you particularly didn't like how combative I was feeling at the time.
Yeah, and then you blocked me, and then we got into an argument.
Well, yes, you were being a dick. So yeah,
Yeah.
but so I mean, overall, damn, for once Disney's doing a good job, and I hope that they keep on doing it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
This is a sign of things to come, and yeah.
Yeah, and something that I think I put into a group chat, but I don't think that I actually publicly put out there was that, and I was looking at the timeline of when Loki season one was, like where where it was in the phases, and it was Loki season one was made right at the cusp of when things started to go to shit.
Yeah. It's when they started the
Because
multiverse, and it was sort of what sort of ruined
yeah,
the multiverse.
but and I know that people get all hot and bothered about using the word woke and stuff at times, but it's around when things started getting woke.
Well, the past two, this and the Guardians of the Galaxy have been pretty good. So
Oh yes, but what I'm referring to is the time frame of Loki season one,
yeah.
and and with Loki season one, that happened right about the same time as WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I like WandaVision.
So did
I
I.
like I liked it
Oh,
until it ended, till the last episode, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I
And then
liked WandaVision all the way through it, and I know at least one very popular streamer who liked it all the way till the last episode, then decided to change his mind and say that he never liked any of it.
yeah, that's a step too far. I mean,
Mhm.
I do
Yeah,
think the ending kind of ruined it. You know what I mean?
it, yeah, I know what you mean, and I don't have a problem with you for saying that. And I'm not going to name the streamer, but you probably know who I'm referring to, Evo.
I think I do.
Yes, I was not amused.
I don't. So you'll have to tell me sometime.
Actually, take a look at the private chat. I'll tell you.
Oh.
It's not over there yet, but it's more that I don't really want to be doing call outs. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to guess. 'Cause I think I I had that typed out. You're not gonna believe me now.
Oh, I believe you because I think we discussed it a little bit at the time.
We probably did.
Yeah. So, well, I really don't mind people having honest opinions and disagreeing with me on things, but I really hate seeing people hyping things up for multiple episodes and then claiming that they didn't.
Yeah, I understand that. It's really annoying.
Yeah. I mean,
Look,
just be honest. Just be friggin' honest about it.
I agree. But you were saying about getting woke. That was actually
Oh,
what I said
oh,
before. That I like Loki because you can you can pick it apart. Because the wokeness there might have been there. I didn't notice it because there was so much else that was wrong with it.
yep. Oh, there's definitely that. And whereas it did have some problems that were starting to edge up there, like my wife really didn't like how Loki got emasculated.
That was one of the things I noticed. But it's Loki being emasculated has nothing to do with the overall problems of the show. I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
No, I definitely agree. But the thing is that for her, since Loki was her big thing, she loves Loki. That was her big thing with the show.
Or
she was like, why the ah!
well, he was sort of upstaged by Sylvie.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is kind of the beginning of the woke stuff that I was referring to.
Yeah, but that's pretty much in everything these days.
Well, yes, but again, I was talking about that as in how with this timeline things were going that way, and it
All
hadn't
right. Yeah.
it hadn't gone all the way down like a lot of the others have since then. And so something that I was thinking was going to be very interesting to see was whether or not Loki season 2 was going to feel like an actual continuation of Loki season 1, because Loki season 2 literally starts back up within the same minute that Loki season 1 ended. So if there was a huge tonal shift, it would be obvious. So that's one of the things that I was looking for when watching season 2. And watching season 2 does honestly feel like it's continuing season 1. So, huzzah.
Yeah, apart from the start of episode 2, it's just sort of threw you in at the deep end with no context of anything.
There's there's a reason I rewatched episode 6, the expositioning.
The addition
And
of X5 seemed very random, though.
yeah,
Yeah,
he just kind of seemed like
it was just sort of there before.
yeah. And he was random hunter the previous season. I didn't see him as anything special previous season. So, well, them actually giving him character this one, it didn't contradict. So I was like, okay, fine.
You know, I was actually quite impressed with his performance, the actor, when he was talking to Loki. Like when I thought he was doing quite good for
Yeah.
a guy who was previously a background character.
Yep. And actually, and the funny thing is that this is probably a more productive discussion than if I'd been more prepared, because we're bouncing all over the place, but we are hitting most of the topics that I was kind of wanting to.
That was good.
I like the magic part where Loki
Oh yeah,
let
that was
his
great.
dark side show.
He
Yeah,
got to be Loki.
Yes, he got to motherfucking be Loki. he got to be like, you're trying to run from me, and then as he thinks he's gotten away, he gets into that gang situation, which at first he wasn't willing to use the tempad there because he thought that they were actual people, not a TVA, and he didn't want to time slip in front of them.
Oh yeah. So can I ask about that? He didn't have the full tempad, right? He just had the little rewindy thing.
Well, yes, but that would be
Just
but
just
that
to
would
check.
well, doesn't the rewindy thing just come with the tempad?
Yeah, but he took it out because the lady, I forget her name.
Oh, right, that person that he
Red
ran
player?
into just.
Or the
I talked about the person that kind of mugged him right at the beginning.
Yeah, she's one of the hunters. She's like the main one.
the black lady?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
was that her?
Yeah, she
I
was the
thought,
lady in the dress in the alleyway.
because I actually thought that that was something. What was something was somebody we hadn't seen yet.
I
No,
keep
that was her. I was,
forgetting
how you
One
get
sec.
out? There, where you went past it.
she was like dressed up.
Yeah, you go back a bit more.
A little
Just
bit.
before. No, I think it's before he started running, and it's when he got outside the theater. I thought you think he started casually walking.
I keep going back. Oh,
There we
Yeah,
go.
there she is. There she is.
One sec.
She does look different.
Yeah. But okay,
But right
so
there, she took the temp pad and he snatches something out of it and runs. I don't know.
okay, that makes more sense then, because I was thinking that she was someone we hadn't seen yet, so I was expecting her to come back later. But she's just dressed in the in
And
the current
appropriate clothes.
in the appropriate clothes like everyone else is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why he wasn't able to just time window away.
Yeah, because you only
Okay.
have the rewindy thing. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. That actually makes more sense. I mean, and hey, I caught some things you guys missed. You caught something big that I missed.
So, real good.
Yeah, because I assumed that he had the temp pad because I didn't think because I did think that she got that at first, but then when they still had the temp pad at the very end, I figured that he must have still had the temp pad on him, and she must have just stolen his wallet or something.
Suppose she's just a random mugger in an alleyway.
Yeah. So that part didn't make tons of sense to me at first.
Well, it spun me out because I was like, oh, she's here. And that's to do with this whole scene. None of this was set up. We don't know what's going on. We don't see them planning this mission or anything. We just sort of get. So I thought I'd missed an episode.
Yeah. Which, nope, not at all.
Wait, I'm going to have to mute for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. So yeah. Oh, both of them are muted now. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by my. And my singing's trouble right now. So yeah. Do 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 do. Banners. Here we go.
Did you like She-Hulk?
What? What about She-Hulk?
Did you like the show?
Oh my fucking god! No. Which I'm pretty sure you know. There we go. Well, well, you were gone. I made a banner. So yeah. But no, She-Hulk was a disaster. And kind of an offensive one as well. But anything for a fan. Hey, hey. Oh,
No.
they
I'm
do
back.
some they do some run around, and we get to see all these people.
Punk.
And it's
Punk.
and it's what?
Punk. Punks.
Punk?
Punk.
Oh,
Yeah.
punks, yes. And because he thinks that they're real people, not from the TVA, he can't just slip away by using the rewindy thing because as he wants to keep up that he's a normal celebrity.
Yeah.
So is
So
this really his time? Is this really his timeline, or is he just? Did he cut
He's
his
on.
make
He's
it?
on the sacred timeline.
Yes,
he,
but is this his real life, or is he just pretending this is his real life?
I
I have
think
no
that
idea.
Okay, what I think has happened here, and they have not made this clear. I think that he killed the person that he's the variant of on this timeline, and he took his
Really?
place.
I thought
Yes.
I thought he cut a deal with someone and got to play something because it's like it's people that can do. They didn't miss minutes off of somebody and offered their
No,
deal. Maybe what line? I don't know.
Miss Minutes and He Who Remains are the only people that can actually do that. At least that's my understanding.
Right, and Miss
So
Minutes is working with Renslayer. So I thought he cut a
yeah,
deal with that Renslayer. But
Where is
don't know what he did for
Renslayer?
the deal.
but
I don't know.
well, Renslayer they just found out that Renslayer is working with Miss Minutes, but they don't know where she. Actually, they just found out where she is. Where she is, I think, but I don't think that they showed us where. I think that was that was the stinger that they left this episode off on.
You know, in the comics,
No,
she's the lover of King.
Really, I
Ravonna.
actually
really?
I actually know almost nothing about this from the comics.
No, I don't. I have very limited comic knowledge.
Okay, so so my theory was that he replaced his variant in whatever form of way that you want to say that he replaced the variant.
Mm.
I personally think that would include possibly purging the variant with one of those nice purgy sticks.
But
So
it's a strange situation to put him in. The undercover thing I think makes more sense because even him being on the timeline, not being the person he's supposed to be, isn't he going to create, branches?
yeah, but do you think he cares?
Well, maybe not.
No, but whoever put
Because
him there would care.
no one else knows that he's a different variant, so it wouldn't cause that big of a
I'm
shift.
saying,
Yeah,
I'm saying, he's not going to
and
behave in the way his other self would. Is what I'm saying. He's going to make different choices. You know what I mean?
true enough. But those choices might not be big enough differences to actually even to make too big of a branch. Because
Yeah, I still don't fully
what
understand how that works. Surely any butterfly effect and all that,
Well,
Surely any.
surely him being missing will cause a bigger shift than it would if he were there. I mean,
hmm
didn't they take him out and bring him to the prison or
Yep.
the
No, he's a variant. He's a variant though. They like
yeah,
But
but
yeah.
now there's no one there.
he's a
Oh,
very
right. I see what you're saying.
yeah,
That's what
he's a
they've
very
done at the TVA.
yeah, he's a variant taking the place of a regular of a regular person, and
It's
that's
like
why
if it's,
and that's why I think that he had to take the original out, because as him being in the world at the same time as the original, I think that would cause the branching.
Yeah. Well, I guess them taking him out probably did create a branch, but they were letting everything branch at that point, and then everything got blown up. So they probably didn't
but
notice.
imagine if George
Yes,
Lucas just suddenly disappeared.
yeah, and
Of course, that would create fun.
and I'm gonna refer you guys back to my video again. We know that the butterfly effect is not always going to cause as a huge branch, because if it did, they literally wouldn't be able to take care of the branches,
Yeah, they wrote.
because that would mean every choice would always need to have a reset.
Right.
And
So as long as
so
they tell him like, yeah, you got to live your life as just like a famous actor, they probably
yeah,
give him some
so
pointers.
yeah, the the butterfly effect is a real thing, but it always comes down to how a show decides to actually set its rules up. And that is one thing that I do have an issue with Loki in general. They feed us the
Right.
rules always through unreliable narrators. So it leaves you asking these questions instead of actually knowing, which annoys me.
So you cut out quite a bit there.
I was cutting out there. Crap.
Yeah, you cut out most of what you said there.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just no, just
What?
didn't hear you.
What I was trying to say is that
What?
Morgoth, are you actually not hearing me, or are you trolling right now?
Oh,
That's
this
one
is
of those
trolling.
things that I'm pretty sure he is now. I don't really appreciate that because I can't actually tell if I'm cutting out or not. So I have to rely
I
on other
wasn't
people to tell
trolling.
me that.
I didn't actually hear what you said.
No, I believed you. The what thing was like, "Ugh." So what I was saying is that the butterfly effect is a real thing, but we can't just say how it's going to be handled by any particular time travel system. The time travel system um, needs to have its own rules told to us because it can have almost whatever rules that it wants, but once it makes the rules, it has to follow its own rules. So the problem that I have with Loki is that it only delivers its rules through unreliable narrators. So
Yeah,
so we're left sitting here going, is this okay or isn't this okay?
Who's the
Uh,
reliable narrator then?
there isn't one. That's the point.
Honestly, the closest thing we've had to a reliable narrator has been Kang,
Yeah, I
which
was gonna say
which
he remains.
the biggest reason why I say that is that he was at the point where he didn't give a fuck anymore. So he didn't really have that much of a reason to lie. So
I don't think he was lying at all in that scene.
no, so yes, we have had a reliable narrator, but we still have questions.
Which you could argue that Loki might be pretty good at reading people because he seemed unreasonably terrified of Kang, and it might just be because
Yeah,
he can tell when someone's lying to him, and he knew everything he said was true. You know what I mean?
don't it's don't lie to a lie. Don't expect to get away with lying to a liar,
Yeah,
and
don't
that's
BS and BS.
yes.
Well,
So
Loki's the biggest liar.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's the point that Yivo's making. That Loki was just honestly terrified after all that. So
So is he a reliable narrator?
I would
well, he
say
doesn't
so.
know what's
Yes.
going on. Loki
No,
probably knows about as much as the audience. I think. You know what I mean?
I I think
About,
Morgoth was asking if that means that King is a reliable narrator, and my answer to
oh
that
right, sorry.
No,
is
I'm
yes.
saying is Loki a reliable narrator?
Not
I
to
think he's
no,
the audience standing. Really, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
for what we're talking about here, no, he's not a reliable narrator because he is not narrating to us what is going on.
He's
So
experiencing it with us, basically.
so, yeah, so he's neither reliable nor unreliable because he is simply not a narrator in this.
He's the main character.
Yep,
Story.
he's a main character who does not have any special knowledge.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we get to see Loki show up and have this nice little fight here.
With the shadows?
I
I
love
like
these
I like
shadows.
the horns.
This was so cool.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure I can get away with doing this because I'm not doing any audio.
So, what do you think
Yeah.
about them wearing suits and the horns only being on the shadows? Do you think it would have been better if they had the outfits? I think it's good the way it is. I'm curious what you think.
I actually think it's better this way because because it's showing that the shadows are are are, are almost theoretically showing something that isn't there, which
Yeah, it
leaves
makes it
stuff up.
more of an
I think
illusion.
the shadows are a reflection of Loki's true appearance.
Yeah,
Well, they're just whatever he wants them to be. Really, it's an illusion he creates,
yeah, but
and he
that's
likes
what
that look.
and that's what makes X5 if thinking, oh shit, is that really there and I can't see it?
Yeah,
it
yeah,
it
it's,
it
it's
adds
scarier.
it adds more to the mind fuck
Yeah, to the
by doing
intimidation
that.
factor as well. Yeah.
Because something that X5 did know about with Loki is that Loki can actually materialize things. So actually materializing the horned helmet probably wouldn't scare him that much. But seeing the
Yeah.
shadows get that without a physical
Yeah.
reason,
And then being grabbed by the shadows as well. It's gotta be terrible.
I love that.
There's a reason he didn't. He could have just had the other two of himself grab him, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Mobius says it over the top. But
Yeah, but work. and and so I did like the way that it that that as we go in here and they're eh, oh yes this so would you like me to work on this temp pad or should I try to fix the loom.
So what's the temp pad again? What does the temp pad do?
Well,
Um,
they're trying they're trying to figure out what the extra additions on the temp pad are for.
what were they? They
Be-
connect him to the other ones or something.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what that was. I didn't look into that too much. Like I said, I didn't prep at all.
It's fine.
But that
It's the episode's fault, not us, for not conveying it properly.
but but at the end, I think that those additions were the same things that was on all the others, so that they could sync up the sending the reset bombs.
Right.
But
At this point, they were just trying to figure out what the modifications were.
yeah, they just had no clue. That they're just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So then they go in and talk to him. And dang, I was pressing the wrong button. Oop. I was like, why am I going backwards? And then we find out that Casey actually knows his shit, which I kind of like because last season he kind of just was what was fobbed off as just kind of being this office drone kind of, and it turns out that he actually is the really meticulous guy who's actually read the handbook. Nobody else read the handbook, but Casey has read the handbook.
I like the relationship he has with OB that he forms. He's like, "Hey, you wrote the book.
Yep.
Can I get your autograph?"
Yeah, they had great chemistry and very little screen time.
Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping to get more.
Yeah.
Who's her? What's
Well,
her
it did
name
kind
again?
we were trying to remember this.
It's H something.
It's a number. It's not a name. It's a number.
Yeah. Actually, one sec. Boop-a-doo.
Is it
Pulling up
N5 or
those
something like that?
It's I don't think it's 5 because it was X5 for the other guy. So I'm pretty
that's
sure it's a
probably
different
why.
number.
N16? No. That's a gun.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, badass hunter. But yeah, I I'm not the biggest fan of her, but she has been doing pretty good been doing pretty good recently. So yeah. And
But it's
when we
like,
go in here,
she's on their team now. You know, she was a enemy in the first season, antagonist.
yep.
Sorry?
And what we go in here? I just love the way that Mobius is telling the others not to let him get under their skin. But
And
who's
then
the
he's
one
the one
that?
that cracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they all thought that Loki was getting ready to crack, and Loki was just looking at it going, "You worm." Because yeah, with the shit that Loki's gone through, I don't think that a little bit of verbal diarrhea is really going to piss him off, coming from someone he doesn't like. Coming from Mobius, maybe. Coming from X5, no. And one thing that, and this one I will specifically call out a creator for because he put the tweet out there. Nerdrotic thinks that them having the key lime pie is the absolute state of Marvel now, where they joke about him getting angry and basically doing Avengers.
I saw that tweet.
I'm
What?
sorry, this is the absolute state of Marvel.
You're cutting out a lot, man.
We need to actually have the characters sit down and talk occasionally, so
yeah,
we can
that's what
actually.
I saw that tweet, man. It was.
I don't
That
get it. What does key lime pie have to do with anything?
It doesn't have to do with the key lime pie specifically. It has to do with the fact that they're sitting down,
No, it's
talking.
I
and
think he just
joking
hated the
around a little bit.
scene.
Oh, so he
Yeah.
just wants non-stop action.
Yeah. One of the things that
Well,
he talks about at times is what he calls conversations in hallways. And let's stop with all this talking. A lot of times he has good takes. This isn't one of them. Because
I
one of
don't
the
know.
things that
He just
one
want.
things that,
That's,
that
I just
is the
that.
thing one things that was wrong with the sequel trilogy of for Star Wars is that if you actually watch it, they never sit down and talk.
Hmm.
Not like
No,
in the
there's no like.
originals, where they
Yeah,
where they have the time between Leia and Han in the cockpit, with nothing really happening other than them developing a relationship.
yeah.
That's this is what we
And
need. This is what they've been screwing up on. So no, this is
a lot of people.
good.
A lot of people took issue with this scene because of the way that Loki talks about what happens in Endgame. I was okay with it. I thought it was a bit weird that he's talking about like ancient history, and for him, it's like the last thing that happened before the
Well,
show.
yes, but remember, he actually saw it in the form of a TV show.
Yeah, but he was there.
What?
Well, yes, he was there, but they also showed it to him.
Yeah.
What, his death and stuff?
Well,
The first Avengers movie. You know when he threw Tony Stark out the window.
hmm
That scene. People
Oh.
had. I'm saying people took issue with the way he talked about that scene. I don't really understand why.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
I see.
but like right here, where I got really mad at my father and brother, and I held the whole of New York City hostage with an alien army.
Yeah, he kind of left Thanos out of the retelling of that.
Tried to use the Mind Stone on Tony Stark. It didn't work, so I threw him off the building. I mean, let me tell you something. It wasn't tactical. I mean, I'm sorry. If this is the absolute state of Marvel, then we're getting better.
No, I agree. My
But
only point was this scene pissed a lot of people off, and I don't really understand why. Specifically this part. I'm not talking about Nedrotic. He just seemed annoyed that they were eating pie and getting quiet.
yeah,
I think it
but
should have been ice cream though. So
the exact thing that they were eating it doesn't really matter to me. But
no, it matters.
I don't think it was the pie.
But I think that they actually did go for key lime pie because they were trying to go for this green aesthetic that they have here.
Oh,
Is kind of what I think. And they were trying to make it look like the 80s diner sort of thing.
mint ice cream.
Well, that would work too. But
Yeah.
That would
yeah,
work. But pie is just like from outside looking, that pie is sort of associated with like American diners and stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We don't get dessert pies over here. Yeah.
And something like this is kind of like comfort food.
Right.
So yeah, and 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 the thing with the thing with Nerd Rock brings me to another thing that I kind of wanted to bitch about. The people who used to all call themselves TFM, who are still really pissed off at Disney, are looking for ways to get angry at Loki season 2.
Right.
I've watched a few reviews of it for episode 1,
I always
and
hesitate to use that just because I've been on the receiving end of that argument for a lot of TV shows, you know.
Well,
But
I
I
yeah,
think
can
they just think that everything's gonna be bad because most of it is.
yeah,
you get apathetic.
but here's the thing: I've watched some of the reviews, and I don't. They're so bad faith.
Right.
And that could be because they just simply don't understand time travel, which most people don't. But then don't tell me that that the time travel in is bad if you don't understand time travel.
Well, this particular version of time travel, at least.
Well, yes. I have my issues with how the majority of people who review shit online view time travel. Almost none of them understand it.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to write about, I think.
Yes. And to be completely fair, time travel in general shouldn't be used in TV shows. Well, maybe
Yeah.
TV shows, but not movies.
Not
If
seriously.
if a TV show bases its stuff around time travel, it can be done well because TV show has the time to set things up correctly. A movie does not.
Like, do you have an
Mm,
example you think of something that does time travel well?
Doctor Who, before the current
That's
shit that's
interesting.
going on.
I
Doctor
haven't watched
Who,
Who?
anything since Capaldi left.
Who?
I, th- N- I, I think that I think that I think that it went pretty well. Well, up to Capaldi, up till the current Doctor, basically.
I
And
haven't watched that show, so I don't know.
N- 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 Star Trek First sorry, Dallas. I did see this. See say this. First Contact did it well. Oh, I would say that from what I vaguely remember, I think it did do it well, but I'd need to rewatch it to be honest.
I haven't
I
seen
I,
that.
I don't remember having any issues with it. And like my wife will agree with is if I didn't if I watch a movie that has time travel in it and I don't remember being annoyed, that probably means it did it decently.
Did Star Wars do time travel or?
I think they did
Uh,
in one of the
in
TV shows,
Rebels,
right? Yeah,
in Rebels,
I didn't see it.
I finally got around to watching it. It didn't do it as badly as I thought it would do it.
You watched Rebels?
I watched that episode of Rebels.
Oh,
Yeah. This is just one episode. They
Yeah.
introduce time travel and then just throw it away.
Well, when we were watching Ahsoka, that they used the world between worlds. So I wanted to know what the fuck the world between worlds was with the setup. So I was so I went and downloaded that episode.
Ahsoka was great.
I haven't seen it.
Aha.
I'm,
And
I'm,
Well, we
so,
all know
I'm
that you
still.
like the Clone Wars, so
You me? Or, yeah.
are you saying I like the Clone Wars?
oh yeah, that's your favorite show.
No.
I never really got into it.
I like it up until the Mortis.
So the Borg sphere the Enterprise destroyed it ends up in pieces around the Arctic, and a planetary survey team finds it in the Enterprise episode Regeneration. Oh, interesting.
Closed
The
time
what?
loop.
The what? What?
The Borg sphere.
What's that?
You don't know what Borgs are? What Borg are?
No,
I don't really watch Star Trek either, but the Borg is just like the bad guys, right? I don't know.
I thought the Klingons were the bad guys.
But the Borg basically will the Borg are a race that will assimilate you. They are kind of human like, but when they come when they come for a race, they assimilate you into the Borg collective. So
Okay, like a hive mind sort of thing.
yes, so kind of like well, no, I'm not going to get into political stuff, but actually, it's kind of like like the Disney sequel fans. They all seem to have the same thoughts.
Fair enough.
And that way, it can. Well, nah.
Yeah.
And
Are we allowed to criticize the sequels yet? Has it been long enough to get cancelled for that?
Oh, I criticize them all the time.
And so do I, you know. Does it still make you a bad person?
I don't think so, actually. I'm not sure though.
Well, not after the Rise of Skywalker.
Well, you were still a bad person on that one. At that point.
Well, a lot of people fell off after that one. A lot of people who defended TOJ fell off after the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, true. But if you still, but if you still criticized it too heavily, they would still come after you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, it's revealed that the Borg were trying to send a message to the collective of the Delta Quadrant, and that would take at least 200 years to get there. So Q still does fling the Enterprise D into the path of the Borg cubing. Q. They were already coming anyway. Okay, interesting closed loop. But yeah, the Borg are really we will assimilate you, and they're very good at adapting. So or so if you're going to be shooting them, for example, you need to modulate your blaster's charge, because you'd shoot one, he'd go down, but because of the collective, that they would actually tune themselves on the fly, so that your next shot wouldn't work. So you need to tune your blaster to a different sort of frequency for it to work on the next one.
All right, they adapt very quickly.
Yes.
Is this in the original Star Trek or just?
It was in Next Generation that they were introduced.
Oh.
But and so yes, basically the original Star Trek, but not the complete OG, but definitely
Well,
before New Trek.
yeah. So it's not with Kirk.
With yeah,
It's with Picard.
Yep, with Picard.
Right.
Oh, the chair on the top is this. The Borg were trying to assimilate Earth in the past before the Federation was formed. And due to a long chain of events, they ended up responsible for creating the United Federation of Planets. I don't think I ever actually ran into that one. Interesting.
And I hadn't seen it, but I do think it's probably a good. The closed loop time travel is usually the easiest one to write because you can't do anything. Nothing you do in the past can change the future because it already happened. So,
It's the easiest to write, but it's also one of the easier ones to poke holes in if you decide to analyze it.
Right.
Because it starts having problems with how do you kickstart the closed time loop? What happens
closed loop
before?
has no beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So and everyone likes to point things like that out to me as this is the best way to do time travel, and I'm like, it's the simplest way. Yeah. So
That's why I said it's the easiest way to write.
Things like that out to me as this is the best way to do time travel, and I'm like, it's the simplest way.
Well, I didn't say easiest. I didn't say best. I said easiest.
This is the best way to do time travel. Morgoth, it's the simplest way. I'm hearing myself through you.
Is that what that is?
Yep, it's coming through, Morgoth. I'm hearing myself through you.
Is that what?
Oh.
Okay, I'm not hearing myself anymore. Okay.
But yeah, I guess we agree.
Okay, so I'm a Vulcan scientist was playing fuck around and find out how with a game with the Borg. You ended up causing the instant that don't play fuck around and find out with the Borg. Don't do that.
So when they assimilate you, do they get like your knowledge?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So like they're gonna be.
That's part of that's part of why they do it.
Okay.
And they're trying to assimilate the best things of every race that they assimilate. So why not us?
It does sound like that was a real thing. You'd be pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah, that's why they were a really huge threat.
Right. The way to beat it was with time travel.
I forgot what happens next. What happens next?
So what happens next is that they talk about how they need to get Brad Wolf to actually admit to.
And then they do the big good cop bad cop thing.
Yes, which I thought was done pretty well actually, because they make it set up like they did have an entire good cop bad cop plan in place, and Loki decides to go, nope, I'm doing this all bad cop.
But that was part of the plan.
Yes, but with Mobius in the background going, oh shit, which sells it to Brad. That
it didn't sell it to me though. It was a good scene, but I saw it coming.
I saw it coming a mile away. But if you're the person who's in that box, I think that it was actually pretty convincing. If you're not watching it from the third person. You know what I'm saying? So if you put yourself into Brad's spot, Breaking Brad.
Yeah, I'd buy it 100%. Because Loki's in that case, so of course you believe it. And Brad supposedly knows that better than anyone,
Yeah, and this is right after Brad made the point that
Hello?
that you're not a hero, you're a villain, and he's like, okay, you're right, I am a villain, and I'm a villain who
Yeah.
wants this information. So
It's like one of the first things he says when he shuts up. He's like, "Yeah, I know. I mentioned your mom. It was not cool." Yeah.
I
yeah,
don't understand why Loki didn't use any of his magic on Thanos.
that's probably
Yeah, that
because of
annoyed
bad.
me the most. That
That's
he tried to stab.
that's probably because of bad writing.
Yeah,
I
the,
mean,
the biggest character assassination for Turgon.
to be honest, for the longest time until it was confirmed that he actually died, I was convinced that that was an illusion that got off to in Endgame.
Well, do you think
It,
it would
it,
have been so much better if he had tried to stab him in the back instead of the front, and and Thanos had shown off his power by seeing through the illusion, sort of thing.
yeah, th- that death was a bad death, bad
Yeah,
death,
but
bad
it's just
Marvel.
out of character for him to try and stab him in the front in such an obvious way.
Yep. So yeah. And I also did like him pretending to fumble around like he doesn't know what he's doing with it when apparently Mobius did give him the this is how it works before they went in.
The guys like, just don't just press random buttons. What you do?
Yes, so convincing. You're so talented. So yeah, and then of course we have Obi going, "We're all gonna die," which means
Honestly,
that
well,
yeah, we have Obi
well,
going. Yes.
no, as I said, it's just a lot of good character, a lot of good performances in this season. I think
Yeah.
pretty
I mean,
enjoyable.
I am honestly kind of shocked in a very good way. In a very good way.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
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 And by the way, I will say this for everyone. I am in fact paying for Disney Plus during Loki right now because Loki is good enough that that I'm going to support them for actually doing something good.
No, I'm not.
That's fine, but you know that I've always been a big person for saying I shall vote with my wallet. I'm voting
Right,
with my wallet.
sticking to your guns.
It's gonna take more than just one show to.
Oh, when Loki is done, I'm canceling. And I'm going to specifically put into the comments for the reason that Loki season 2 ended. So yeah, I'm specifically supporting it for Loki season 2.
That's fair enough, man. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're all gonna die. And one thing that really liked here was Casey coming and going, "Did you try a C12 bypass pathway?" And Obi's like, "That won't work." Well, how do you know? Because I wrote the book. But the fact that Casey knew to ask about that was like, yeah, nice.
Yeah, and then he just starts fanboying for.
Yep. And in the first episode, when Obi was like, this manual is on everybody's desk, haven't you read it?
He's the one guy who did.
It's like Casey's the only person in the entire place who's read the handbook. And Casey's just so adorable here. Will you sign mine for me? So yeah,
I like the McDonald's scene. Makes me want McDonald's.
makes me want old time McDonald's, where going into a McDonald's actually kind of felt special.
Yeah. Now it's just like bland. And...
Yeah, I mean, they're showing us the McDonald's that was, and it's kind of like, yeah,
Well, it's
Kitten.
something I noticed. Kids don't get excited about going to McDonald's the way I did when I was a kid anymore because it's not as exciting. There used to be a whole play area and stuff when I was a
Oh
kid.
yeah, yeah. There was a play area that they at certain points they actually had some of those tables that actually have a game in them, kind of like Pizza Hut used to have
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
It used to actually be an experience to go to McDonald's.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Now it's
so
just bargain. Now it's just bargain basement shit food.
Well, yeah,
now
it's just
they don't want to
it's the
sacrifice the floor
representation of the
space.
times.
Hmm.
Do you remember all the characters? They don't really exist anymore. Used to be like a whole cast of characters.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
even Burger King.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least Burger King still has the crowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time that I actually went to sit down there, I actually got a crown and wore it for the rest of the day.
Well, the McDonald's. I used to love the cookies
Oh yeah,
and
those
the
are
Happy
good
Meal.
cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never get Happy Meals anymore. Not even for a good toy.
and and I I, I actually like Sylvie just kind of being a random employee who's happy with her life. I've seen, again, Nerdrotic bitch about this, but
She seems to
I'm
enjoy her
sorry.
job, man.
But I'm sorry. What she had, the hell that she'd lived before this was never being able to live a normal life. She
Right.
always had to hide in an apocalypse, just as
Yeah.
scrounging
Sometimes you just
everywhere she
want to enjoy
goes.
a McDonald's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she finally has normalcy here.
She look older in season 2?
Yes, and I think that she actually is because she's been living on the sacred timeline, and I think that this is actually 5 years for her
Really?
because I think touchdown for her was 1977, and this is 1982, I think.
Like I don't. I feel like it's a different actor, an actress.
I think it might be
Oh
more the
no, it's the
hair
same
though.
actress.
The hair's
Yeah,
very different.
it is definitely the same
I think it
actress.
looked. I think it looked better in the first season. I know I'm big on hair, but you know what I mean.
They definitely have a different hairstyle for her. So and I think some of it may be that they did intentionally try to age her because they wanted these guys is to be he still right after all the shit, but they
Yeah.
wanted Sylvie to actually have kind of aged out of it, like I'm out of this stuff.
Right.
So
And
I think she might be forming like a bond with her manager at McDonald's.
she might be.
Yeah.
Whatever, I forget his name. Jack.
Yeah.
He was the person she was talking to in the last scene, right?
Yeah, she was sitting on the car.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's what they
Yeah.
chose to end the episode with, so I don't think it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't tend to end with something that didn't mean anything. So yeah.
If the point of the scene was just she's gone back to her life at McDonald's, it didn't need to be all what it was. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I agree. I do think there might be something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he turns out to be the son of Loki and whatever hers of Sylvie.
Maybe.
So, self-cess
she,
for the win.
she did say to him, "Is your mum coming to pick you up?" So was that her?
He turns around. Wait a second, you're my mom.
He said, "I don't know. Are you?"
But one thing that I kind of like in here is that they have Brad just getting more and more disturbed as time's going by, and Mobius actually notices going, "Wait, first you just wanted to get back to your life, now you're just going get me out of here. Period. What's going on?"
I keep wanting to call Mobius Morbius.
Yeah,
Well,
I do occasionally too. But yeah, so they go through all this, And he's like, we're going to die. And Sylvie's like, what the hell? And chants him, and that's like, oh shit.
And it cuts very quickly after this, isn't it? They throw him back, and then we're just like boom in the fight scene.
Yep.
It's a bit
Which
jarring.
it's a little jarring, but but they did kind of set up that something was about to go down, which is the way that Brad was getting more and more agitated the entire time.
Yeah.
So, it was abrupt, but it wasn't, but it wasn't the Disney thing of, oh no, 5 minutes have passed, we need action now.
Right.
So I guess that timeline actually didn't get erased because she was there. She went
Yeah,
back, was still
Yeah. No,
there.
that one's survived.
yeah, that one
Yeah, that
was
one's
able to be
survived.
saved because they didn't manage to do all
Which
of them, but they did manage to prune enough that the world's that the loom didn't overload yet.
it looked like they got most of them.
Yeah, it did. But however, those things are going to branch
Yeah.
again,
I say it looked
and
like they got most of them.
yeah, no, I disagreed with you there, but but what I'm saying is that unless they keep on pruning
So it's
them,
incredible.
it's going unless they keep on pruning them, it's going to fray again. So basically, the bad guys just bought everybody time.
Yeah.
Mm. Which is something that I find interesting, that them actually
Yeah.
failing to do what they wanted to do was probably for the best,
Well, that's what we
even
see.
though, yeah,
Because that delays the Kangs showing up.
hmm and I do like that they're here. They're seeing about the temp pads, and that they're doing exactly what Sylvie did,
Yeah, but
except
sort of in the
yeah, and Sylvie is now really upset with this because now she actually feels like she has a stake in everything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh, and by the way, travel and tourism. Yeah, yes, I do in fact support Comicsgate. Too bad.
It's not progress. It's not progressive.
Wah.
Who's that?
Oh, it's probably one of my trolls that I've gotten for having the nerve to actually platform a comic creator. I mean,
Racist.
come on, give me a break. I like to talk to people. So our mission is compromised. We have to
Yeah,
stop this. Can we disarm the charges? Frankly, you probably shouldn't disarm all of them.
yeah. It's probably
Frankly, you probably shouldn't disarm Morgoth. Morgoth, I'm hearing myself from you again.
Sorry.
So yeah, don't
yeah. I didn't
overthink
think
it.
that. I didn't think this fight scene was very good. The choreography. There are a lot of them pushing people over and stuff. You know.
Yeah, it wasn't the best fight scene, but as I think everybody knows, I don't tend to care about action so much. So, the rest of the stuff that was good really make me overlook the fact that this fight scene was not the best.
There's also the point that the move they're about to do now, they could have just opened with that.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh,
seems
and
to,
also, oh, I just gotta say this: I platform thieves and liars. Well, I judge people by what they actually do and say. The people that I platform don't tend to do the bad things. And CG versus anti-CG, anti-CG tends to do a lot worse than CG. CG aren't saints either, but the anti-CG stuff tend to be vile, and that kind of includes you if you're the same person I think you are. So have a good day. Anyway. Hey, if I'm going to be challenged on my own stream, I'm going to comment on it.
And I do with that.
So yeah,
No arguments
and
for me.
now all of those billions of people who died, which is a which is a tragedy. I've been saying since the
Because
very
they
beginning.
definitely they definitely
In
got the majority of it. I mean,
Yeah, and I've been saying since the very beginning that these reset charges are weapons of mass destruction. So I find it funny that they're finally admitting to that fact.
of course.
These things are these things are
They are.
worse than
Well, they can just
than
basically
nukes.
destroy a universe.
Yeah, I mean that's what I thought they're going to need to be scrambling to
Worse
stop.
than Thanos.
At the beginning of episode three, first season, I thought that we were going to be seeing them need to actually handle the fact that they were trying to destroy the universe. Yeah. Oh, and feel free to report it to Disney. Yeah, I am allowed to do fair use. Yeah, that's fine. And by the way, spaghetti sauce, spaghetto sauce.
Forget it.
I have dealt with DMCA strikes before, and I've won every one of them. Moron! I know what I'm doing. It's
Good.
called fair use.
I was going to say everything falls under fair use. You haven't played the clip for longer than a few seconds, and you've
Yeah,
been just
and
you haven't even played the clips. You're skimming through like paused scenes.
yeah, and we've been talking through all of it. The thing
Right.
is that the thing is that at the big one of the bigger things about to get fair use is would you be able to get the same experience from watching me than from watching the original thing?
I don't
And
think so.
there's no way in hell.
Like, we were talking about Star Trek a minute ago.
I guarantee you will not win this one. I guarantee you're stupid.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Good luck with that, spaghetti sauce. Oh, dear Lord. So, out of curiosity, spaghetti sauce, what exactly it makes trolling like this worthwhile? Because I mean, you're not very smart.
I am the I am the captain now.
You're the captain now. Uh huh. So yeah, they just got a hit on Renslayer's tempad. So tempad signal match, and basically they've got coordinates. But unless you know what those coordinates mean better than me, I don't know. But it means something to them. And now she blames everything on the TVA. Guess what, Sylvie? If you actually it had if you'd actually helped me to begin with, you might have actually gotten there in time. Oh, he probably wasn't trolling. He was probably didn't. He was probably Disney bot. They're everywhere. Eh.
Hello, the Disney bot.
Oh, I'm glad you do the stream because now I don't have to watch the show. You're trying to build your case. That doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter that somebody in comments says that. All that I have to do is say, "Take me to court."
Do you know Sheila?
No, this is definitely the same person. because they're
This is
responding to me saying because they're responding to me saying that one of the biggest things is that and if you do it, that that one of the bigger things is that a person can't keep can't get the same experience from watching me as watching the show. So now Sheila's saying I'm glad you do the stream because now I don't have to watch the show. This is actually pretty funny. There's no way in hell that they would spend the time on something like this. Especially considering the fact that this entire stream has been me praising Loki season 2. I'm giving them fucking advertising.
So is
So-
Sheila the troll?
Yeah, this is one of those people that makes a million different accounts.
looks Pluto.
You've been a troll the entire time, Sheila.
Hey, I'm the troll.
I was honestly going to ask if it was you.
No, I'm the only one allowed to troll.
Nah, this entire stuff that's going on here is very reminiscent to the trolling that I got from that person a while ago. So I'm pretty convinced it's the same person. So yeah, Sylvie over here.
Sheila McSplooter.
So Sheila over here is saying that the TVA is the problem. So Sylvie, if you had actually helped when right from the beginning when they got there, you might have actually been able to stop all this. So maybe you're the problem.
To be fair, she didn't know what was going on at the time.
No, I know, but she's blaming the TVA for not being able to react fast enough. When if she hadn't been been a person who would just like me, go away, fuck off.
I think her point is more like if the TVA didn't exist to begin with, none of this would have happened. This is all the the TVA is trying to clean up their own mess, sort of thing.
If the TVA did, and even here the TVA, it's that it's splintered.
Yeah.
And the TVA was trying to stop it.
But she doesn't care about that, man. Because she's the one, she sees them as the ones that cause it. She just wants multiverse. Everyone has free will, no TVA.
Oh, I know. Yeah, she's very short-sighted in this, but I can't say that I blame her because, like I said before, she'd always been running from apocalypse to apocalypse, and her focus is just, I want to just live my life, and I understand that.
She's a very warped perspective, but it's understandable.
Well, doesn't she have an Asgard? I don't understand.
Her timeline got pruned.
Oh.
Yeah, her timeline got pruned literally because she was female, if I remember correctly.
Which I don't understand how that she wasn't pruned at birth, if that was the case.
I think that it didn't start branching until she started having more like free will.
So a girl Loki fits within the rope. That's what you're saying until her gender becomes for a few years. For a few years.
Yeah, until she starts meaningfully interacting with the universe. At least that's how I explain it.
That's fair.
Which is weird because we have all these other different kind of Lokis out there.
An alligator.
What? Well,
I thought it was weird.
Now, to be fair, as far as alligator Loki and those others, as I was saying, that they did that. All of those guys did get pruned. So
you'd think there'd be more Tom Hiddleston Lokis, but I guess they wanted to change it up.
Yeah, you'd think.
Because he's the prime timeline Loki, and so all the variants all the branches are gonna come from there, right? Now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, some of those Lokis could have been from before the formation of the prime timeline or something,
Yeah, possibly.
Because all of that got pruned, right?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, shouldn't there be Kangs at the end of the time? If nothing gets deleted, anything just gets sent to the void, right?
Well, everything that not necessarily because Elias is there. He specifically said that he weaponized
Yeah.
Elias.
Yeah, to
It's the
defeat
thing.
all the other.
Yeah.
hmm
Right.
So
Yeah,
I'm assuming that those Kangs got eaten by Elias.
Right. Yeah, and the reason there's so many Lokis is just because Lokis are survivors. I think that's how they
Yep.
explained it.
Yeah, exactly. They hide, they run, they do all that stuff. Which is why occasionally to answer some of the questions that you posed, I've said, "Well, he's Loki."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
it was Loki all along.
It's funny you said Loki's a survivor.
Yep.
It's funny that he's known as a survivor when he's really known as a character who dies a lot.
Imagine if Loki turns out to be king.
but no, Yuvo has a point. It is funny that Loki is known as a survivor when he's someone that dies a lot. But the thing is that he dies a lot and then he comes back.
He's the one who doesn't
Yeah, he
die
doesn't die.
or stay dead.
Yeah. However many times you try.
That's why nobody believed his death in the Infinity War.
I didn't.
And that's the thing about death baiting. No, that's the problem with death baiting. And when you actually want to kill off a character, no one's going to believe you.
Yeah, true. But the thing is that for someone like
You have
Loki,
to make it brutal.
it actually makes sense to not believe that Loki died because Loki is the master of illusions. So unlike so many other things,
Right,
that
and
one
his
is
death
kind
was
of
bullshit, as we said.
yeah, that one is actually okay for him to just randomly survive because it's motherfucking Loki.
But it's now been confirmed that he did die.
Yes,
But by this show.
I was very annoyed by that.
And that's
Hey, it's
the
over.
TVA propaganda, isn't it?
Yep,
Because that's what Kang decided for him, right?
Right.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's still a possible
yeah.
eventuality. Kang just picked it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go on,
So yeah, I'm gonna say, yay for this.
Yay.
And it was nice to do a stream where instead of complaining the majority of the time, where it was actually talk about something that we honestly like. I mean, it's fun picking things apart with a toothpick too, but this is not something that we've really been able to really get for a while, where we just honestly like where we honestly like it, and when we're picking things apart, we're more adding to it rather than showing its problems.
Right. And we're picking it apart so much because we're invested
Yeah.
Right.
in the stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think your cat's hungry.
Oh no, he literally just ate.
Oh.
He started meowing. He started meowing after he finished. He was very focused on that first.
Oh, is it Dizzy?
No, that's Jasper.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for coming to the stream. I think that'll be it.
Yeah.
At an hour and a half. Woo.
Woo.
And I'll probably do this next week too if you guys are up for it.
Sure.
Cool.
If
And,
it's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's good.
if it's good or if it's not. But at this point, I'm going to tentatively assume hope for the best.
Yeah.
Right. Either way, we'll have something to talk about.
Yep. Because if it crashes, if it crashes and fails, well, we can also talk about what did you do?
Yeah. I guess it's possible that the episode's just pure filler and nothing happens. And we have nothing to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So see you guys later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.